$79,909.32. Is there a motion? Motion made by Alderwoman Johnson, second by Alderwoman Carter. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. We go into mayor's report. Few items. On January 16th, I unfortunately attended the funeral of the mother of Lorenzo Boyd. Lorenzo Boyd is the gentleman who presented at our town hall meeting pertaining for Stiefel. Was helping us with our bond issue. He lost his mom and attended that funeral on January 16th. Also on January 16th, I attended the Wing Fling, which was down in Youth and Family Center. That is an event made up of seniors around the community, St. Louis region, and they come together and they have fellowship. They had live entertainment, which was Mr. Marty Abdul, a legendary entertainer, and they had food, and it's something free for the seniors. And it was hosted by Mr. Bernie Hayes, who hosted that event. So I did attend that, and I was a guest speaker there as well. Unfortunately, there are going to be some funeral announcements on here. I just hate to do that, but I just want to make these announcements. January 17th, I did attend the funeral of Miss Latasha Brown at St. Peter's Church. Latasha Brown was the young lady who, along with her daughter, was murdered in St. Louis City, where they burned the house as well. They just actually caught the perpetrator of that crime. She was very active in the Ferguson movement. She had an office in Ferguson on West Florissant and did a lot of work in the Canfield area. So her funeral was on January 17th, so I represented the city of Delwood there. Also on January 23rd, I had a meeting with the owners of Show Me Sounds, which owns the burnt up property that's on West Florissant. The purpose of the meeting was to obtain ownership for the city for one of our Proposition D projects. That meeting was very well, very good meeting. On January 23rd, we met with the new owners. As we talked about Delwood Market, we have new owners for Delwood Market, and we had a meeting on January 23rd, listing all the, I'm gonna say demands, but things we wanted in place before they took ownership. Myself, City Administrator Terry Wilson, Lieutenant Thompson, and our nuisance officer Butler was also in that meeting. On January 27th, we'll talk about this more a little later, but I sent our public works crew to the city of Riverview to help those citizens who had no plow services due to their leadership not in action, and sent those guys over there, did a wonderful job, and we'll talk about that a little later this evening. January 23rd, also attended the funeral of the grandmother of our state senator, Mr. Brian Williams, who's a candidate for St. Louis County Executive. I attended that funeral, which was held at Greater Grace Church. On February 1st, attended the 80th birthday celebration for Reverend Tommy Pearson, who's a well-known minister in his community, former school board member, former mayor of Bell Fountain, and also a long-time pastor in the community. So he celebrated his 80th birthday February 1st. February 3rd, we took some acknowledgments and a proclamation to a former Delwood alderwoman, Miss Kathleen Bissau, who was an alder lady back in the 80s here in Delwood. Her funeral took place in St. Charles, so we created a proclamation. The city administrator delivered a proclamation to the services. They're very excited and very thankful for that acknowledgement. Also on February 3rd, I had a meeting with the owners of Delwood Lounge on some things that we needed to come together on some improvements for. That was a real good meeting. Also, lastly, I will talk about February 7th. I attended a Bell Fountain Black History Month event that took place at the Bell Fountain Recreation Center on February 7th. That will conclude most of my mayor report, but before I close out my mayor report, I do have a couple of presentations I'd like to do at this time. The first, as we talked about, we acknowledged in January, we sent our public works team over to another municipality to really help some folks out. And the reason why I decided to do that, because people may not know, Delwood has been in that position before. There's been times where we ran out of salt. There's been times where our trucks were down, and neighboring Ferguson and different people have helped us out. And so I thought it was in our best interest and the best interest of North County to help those individuals out who were basically stuck at home, couldn't make their doctor's appointment, and couldn't get out. What I'm impressed about is when I made the phone call that night, because I saw a story on Channel 4 of a lady who was just like, and just said that everybody forget about us. It was about 10:30. I made a call to our Public Works Director, Harry Collins, and I think I called Terry too, and told him what I wanted to do. I said, you guys go over there and plow those streets the next morning. Now, what people don't know, there was no communication between me or the city. This is something I just did. They didn't ask us to do this. There was no outreach from the city asking Delwood to help out. I did it, and I took the risk of any backlash. I really didn't care. But what was impressive is when I called our Public Works Director that night, he called me back 10 minutes later with Terry on the phone. So I thought he was calling to tell me, no, they don't want to do it, you know? And so when he said, Marriage, we want to go tonight. And I was very impressed by that. Those guys were working here all day that day, and instead of being at home where they could rest, they decided to go at midnight to go to another city. They don't know the streets, don't know the community, and went over there and helped those folks out. Didn't finish that night because, again, we don't know the streets, so it was kind of hard to figure it out. Went back the next morning, and that's when the media kind of got involved. So with that, I want to read the statement that I did present. I want to take a few moments to formalize and recognize an incredible team that often works in the shadows, or rather in the coldest hours of the night, while the rest of us are warm, safe in our homes. I'm talking about our Public Works Department. Following this recent storm, our crews have gone above and beyond to keep our community moving. With many surrounding areas remaining paralyzed, our Public Works team moved swiftly, efficiently to clear roads, sidewalks, critical pathways, restoring safety within a remarkable short time frame. I know that snow removal is a mindless task. It is demanding. High-stakes work that requires focus, skill, and grit, operating heavy equipment in freezing temperatures and often in zero visibility. This team worked around the clock, running long, grueling shifts, often with little sleep, to make sure that emergency vehicles can reach in need, school buses travel safely, and we all can get to work. These men are truly the unsung heroes of our winter, and they have exceeded expectations by ensuring that our city didn't just survive this storm, but we were able to get back to normal as quickly as possible. To the Public Works team, we see you. We see your dedication, we see your hard work, and we are greatly appreciative. Please join me in giving our massive shout out to a well-deserved round of applause to our Public Works team and a presentation of the Do the Right Thing Award. All Public Works teams, come on. Come up to the DIs.
That's our new person.
All four. Yeah. You gotta even it out a little bit. Yeah, one's still in uniform. He's so dedicated. He didn't change clothes. You ready to work? Come on now. Here yours down here.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Sure, that's Isaiah. You gotta come to the middle, we gotta take our pictures. Board, come on behind us. Come on. Come on. School in, we got school in.
Get in here with my purse and here comes. They did me good.
Come on, even it out. We got it. Good?
I'm trying not to.
Go
Come
ahead,
on.
say hi to you. Know you're short.
Come on, get over here. Uh-oh, wait a minute, he ain't in here. Hold up, we blocked. Come on. Hold up. Yeah, really tall. Yeah, hell yeah, I ain't really got it.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Look different today. Don't have that fire. Back up in the box. You trying to take
I'm bad. We got one more to do. So with that, again, give our team a round of applause for the work team. Did a great job. Not just over here, but again, they went to Riverview, something that we didn't have to do. They did a great job over there, and we're thankful. One more person we want to recognize. As you know, I had a bright idea years ago of starting snow removal for our seniors. Seniors, snows over 2 inches above, we shovel their snow. And so it's a hard program. It really is. And but we got a good person who does that. We contract with a gentleman named Reggie Crawford, who puts together a crew, and those guys worked all night, salted people's front. I got thankless cards and calls about the work these guys did for these seniors, and they kept getting calls as they were out there. Some neighbor across the street, oh, they shoveling her snow, so they'll call City Hall. We got to add another person. And so we gave some to Harry and them because we couldn't keep up with the ones that kept calling. But he did over 130 senior homes that they shoveled. He shoveled, and it's not easy because those nights it was cold. I mean, Public Works does a great job, but these guys are outside the whole time. You know, he's not in no truck. He's out there shoveling. I think one of the blowers didn't stop working, and they were actually using shovels in these people's homes, and sometimes 10, 11 o'clock at night, still going. So with that, I want to recognize Mr. Reggie Crawford with his Do the Right Thing award. Come on up. He don't like this kind of attention, but
But we must.
And one thing about Reggie, I would say, and our team, Public Works, everybody knows, these guys were offered so many tips from residents, they didn't take them. You know, they didn't take any tips. They just did the work they're supposed to do, and he was very adamant with his guys not taking no tips. They just providing the service. We appreciate that. Come on, board.
Okay, we get another picture?
Yep, another picture. You gotta hold it. Right. Don't stand behind him. That's what you better.
Yeah, right. Okay, step
That's him beside of him.
I'm just in between you.
There you go. I can see everybody. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right, congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
All right, next we got a lieutenant. No, I'm just joking. You didn't deserve one this month.
He deserves one.
Okay, we'll go into, so that concludes my mayor's report. We're going to board announcements. We have any board announcements?
Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Carter.
I would just like to say thank you to you, Mayor, City Administrator, and all of our Public Works. The purple salt was amazing. It was a total difference from our last snowstorm, so I just want to thank you for moving forward with that.
Thank you. Thank you. The purple rings, we call it. That's our nickname. You just got some more order that came in too, so very effective. Any other board comments? If not, we go to new business, City Administrator Report, Terry Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Good to see everyone here. We got a packed house today. I am going to be brief because I'm going to yield some of my time for our insurance renewal presentation, which won't take very long. But this month, we welcomed our new part-time, well, it's not new, but our part-time city inspector, Otis Ray Morton. He's finally here, and so our code enforcement officer is focusing strictly on code enforcement every day. In January, he issued 27 tickets, 22 warnings. We had 9 inspections conducted, 2 commercial inspections conducted. The commercial inspections all passed. The residential inspection, we had 7 pass and 2 fail. We had no homes purchased this month, but we have 6 for sale. 6 are listed. I'll just give you the streets real quick. 1512 Capel, 932 Thatcher, 1102 Thatcher, 4 South Dalewood, 1618 Keelan, and 33 South Schluter. They're all listed for sale. We had 35 residential calls that we responded to in terms of code enforcement, 16 email inquiries. Also in commercial code enforcement, the code enforcer provided guidance to 3 businesses on signage and permitting, notify all the active businesses about license renewals and fee compliance, and also enforced a few standards for trash and debris at the Dealwood commercial sites. Also, we'd like to welcome our new admin assistant that started today, Latasha Robertson, and she's doing. She hit the ground running. I threw a lot at her today, but I think she's going to be great for the city. So we're excited to have her on board. And with that, I'd like to invite our broker up to discuss the renewal and for you all to hopefully pass the recommendation from myself, and he's going to speak.
How does it sound? Nice to meet you all. My name is John Becker. I'm an advisor over at Caribus, and we handle your guys' employee benefits package for the city of Delwood. Today, I'm going to briefly go over the renewal that you guys have that is up for an effective date on March 1st. Talk about the financials on there, talk about alternative solutions that are out there, and kind of maybe in line with Terry's recommendation. So, we received a renewal with Anthem this year for a March 1st effective date of 19%. It is a large increase this year. To give you guys context, I work strictly in the small group space, so with employers with less than 50 employees on that. In the year of 2026 so far, we have been seeing on average between 18 and 20% renewal increases. These are due to many different factors. Obviously, none of them are fun to hear, but the increased costs of care, so there are amazing prescription drugs that are out there that are truly life-saving and life-changing. These unfortunately come at a cost. So these costs are getting passed on to consumers. Not only that, but just general inflation along with, hospital costs, administration costs, labor shortages on the hospital and healthcare side of things. These are factors that are ultimately getting passed on to the consumers. Not saying it's right or wrong, that's just the reality of the situation this year. So, our 19% is in line, that is gross annual increase. For the city of Delwood, this comes at a 17.7K annual increase if you guys do not change the way you are contributing to employees and their family members. So, keeping things consistent, keeping things the exact same, it goes up 17.5 grand, let's say. For employees, this goes up per pay cost based on 26 pay periods, the following amount. If you are enrolled by yourself as an employee only, it goes up $12 a paycheck. If you have an employee plus a spouse, it goes up $25 a paycheck. Employee plus children, $23 a paycheck. And if you have a family plan, it goes up $37 a paycheck. Part of our process every year is to go out to the market and check what else is out there, make sure we're not leaving any stone unturned. This year, we went out to 5 different carriers, those being Medica, which is a brand new insurance carrier to the St. Louis market this year, Aetna, Anthem, United Healthcare. All of those carriers declined to provide a quote due to claims experience and due to medical underwriting. All these carriers take a look at certain things, they can come up with generalizations to see how the risk of the group would fit. So unfortunately, we were unable to find any alternative options outside of the Anthem plan that we have today. So that leads us to, how do we get creative? How do we find ways to lower costs but maintain a high level of benefits? First option was changing up some deductibles with Anthem that you guys have today. So currently, the city of Delwood has a $2,000 individual deductible with an individual max out of pocket of $4,000. If you bumped that up to a $2,500 deductible and a $4,500 max out of pocket, increasing individuals' maximum exposure for a year by $500, it roughly saves an employee, $6 a month, $7 a month. You do the math there, it doesn't really add up. You spend $84 less on premium, but you have $500 more of exposure. The next step down was increasing the deductible from $2,000 to $3,500. So a $1,500 max exposure gap there. That only saves employees roughly $14 a month. So I think with Terry and I, based on the market, which is a very tough market, along with alternative options that are available, saving a little bit of money on the fixed cost premiums while adding a greater amount of exposure and maximum liability for an individual and family members, it probably makes the most sense price-wise to stay put with the same plan that the city of Delwood has in place today.
There's your recommendation.
That is my recommendation.
Any questions? At this time, I entertain a motion to accept the recommendation from our broker and from our city administrator. Motion made by Alderwoman Johnson, second by Alderman Williams. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Johnson,
Yes.
Alderman Williams.
Yes.
Alderwoman Melton,
Yes.
Alderman Robinson,
Yes.
Alderwoman Wilkins, Alderwoman Artis,
Yes.
Alderwoman Carter,
Yes.
Alderman Hope. Motion passed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
Lieutenant Thompson, police activity report.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For the month of January, we had 32 alarm calls, 2 assault reports, 6 accidental injuries, 5 arrests were completed, 20 auto accidents, 3 burglary reports, 20 calls for check the welfare, 12 disturbance calls, 11 calls for loose dog, 11 calls for larcenies, 1 missing person, 2 calls for open doors, 7 ordinance violations, 2 property damage reports, 57 sick cases, 1 soliciting call, 7 suspicious persons, 13 calls for shots heard, 2 stolen vehicles, 21 suspicious vehicles, 236 traffic violations were written, 12 parking violations were written, and 5 911 hang-up calls. And that's
Neighborhood watch.
no neighborhood watch, but we do have the neighborhood watch holiday party tomorrow. And I'm looking for everybody to show up.
I do have 2 comments. One, I got a letter from a couple who notified the city of their vacation. If you don't know, if you take vacations for the city, if you live in Delwood, if you notify the police department, they will do vacation checks at your home. So, it's a long time service we've done. I got a nice letter from a couple on, I think it was somewhere in the First Ward, who went on vacation, and I guess they saw you guys on camera checking doors and backyards, so they were very appreciative of that. So that is a plus. And also, there was a shooting on the 10400 block of Olney. It was an isolated incident between 2 residents and their uncle, who actually called the police and waited for the police to come to arrest them. One individual was pregnant. She had the baby since then. It was 28 weeks, and right now the baby is in good condition, and everybody is on the mend and hopefully coming home soon. So that was on the news, I think, yesterday, a couple days ago, but everything is looking up for those individuals. So thank you for your work on that as well.
That'll be my February report.
Gotcha. Any questions for Lieutenant? Thank you, sir. We do not have a Delwood Recreation report. Kevin Williams is attending a youth football league meeting tonight, so he's not available. So with that concludes the business portions of our meeting. Now we're in public portion. If you have any public comments, please state your name, address, and your public comment.
Mayor, I want to thank you and your board for taking care of the seniors. Mr. Reggie did an outstanding job, even asked me if it was good enough when he did my driveway. And that meant a lot, because therefore my grandson didn't have to come over and do my driveway, because you guys took care of it. And that was really good for a lot of the seniors in my neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am.
So, thank you, Mr. Reggie.
My name is Tracy Nave, and I'm here with Riverview Garden School District. I'm assistant superintendent there. And first, I have to say, before I start talking about what I want to say with Riverview, I am so inspired. I am also a North County resident. I don't live in Delwood, but I just want to applaud you all for the work that you're doing here in Delwood. We see it happening just from the visuals that are going on in the neighborhood, the help of increasing or Delwood Market, and that's going to be changing as well. So we see it, and we're so thankful for Public Works because those are our children who could not get to school because of the work, because of the snow. So thank you all. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about Proposition N. It's going to be a tax levy, and let me say this is a no tax levy that's going to be on the ballot in April, on April 7th. And again, this is no tax rate increase that we're wanting to get approved, and it's a ballot for residents of the Riverview Garden School District. A levy transfer basically allows a school district to shift a portion of its existing tax levy from the debt service fund to the operating fund. I like to say it's moving some money from your savings to your checking. And this does not increase the overall tax rate. Instead, it just reallocates current funds to assist Riverview Garden School District in addressing the current budget shortfall caused by reduced school funding, decreased funding due to attendance, and a reduction in local funding due to the senior tax freeze and more. Riverview Gardens School District is asking voters to approve, it's basically a 20-cent transfer per $100 of assessed valuation from the debt service fund to the operating fund. So this debt service levy would be reduced by 20 cents, the operating levy would increase by 20 cents, and the total tax levy would remain unchanged. Based on the current assessed valuation, a 20-cent levy transfer is estimated to generate approximately $730,000 annually for operating purposes. Prop N, again, will not raise your tax rate or the amount you pay for your taxes. It will simply allow Riverview Garden School District to transfer a portion of the taxes you already pay into a different account.
Okay.
All right, again, no tax increase. We want your support for Prop N.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I have one comment. I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. All my kids went through Riverview Garden School District, and Dr. Nave had an input on each one of them to the point to where my baby boy was caught on campus filming, doing some YouTube type video that I didn't approve of at that time. And when I went to correct him and try to get him to stop, Dr. Nave, she might not remember this, talked me into letting him kind of feel his way and work his way through it. To this day, he's a big YouTube star and makes a living on YouTube and does quite well on YouTube. And so thank you for that, because up to me, he wouldn't be doing it, But you talked me into it that time to let him kind of do his thing. And he's only done that since he's graduated and done a great job at it. And I thank you for that advice that you gave me at that time. So appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman,
Alderwoman Johnson.
I'd just like to ask Dr. May, once that money's, I'm sorry,
Go
Dr.
ahead.
Nave.
Nave.
Once that money's transferred from your debt services account, how does that leave that account?
That account will still accumulate, like it's 20 cents per $100 of assessed evaluation. So that account will still continue to collect at normal rate. This money will just be a small percentage going over, or a small amount, 20 cents per every $100 of assessed valuation, going over to the fund, the operating fund.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other comments?
Tracy, it's good seeing you.
Good evening. My name is Tia Omar. I live off of North Schluter. I'm here to ask the board to reconsider the use of block safety automatic license plate reader cameras because of the privacy, civil liberties, and oversight risks they pose to ordinary residents. These cameras don't just capture vehicles involved in crimes. They collect location data on everyone who drives past them, where we go, when we go, and how often. Over time, this creates a detailed map of people's daily lives, even when they're not suspected of any wrongdoing. Civil liberties organizations like the ACLU have warned that this kind of mass location tracking can chill First Amendment activity, such as attending protests, visiting places of worship, or going to sensitive medical appointments. Another major concern is data access and sharing. In multiple cities, reporting has shown that license plate data was accessed by outside agencies without clear public approval or meaningful oversight. Once this data exists, local governments often lose real control over how it's used, which is evidenced by many cases of ICE and other federal agencies accessing the data without authorization, which is why cities like Mountain View, California have disabled their clock cameras. Importantly, these systems are typically accessed without a warrant, raising serious Fourth Amendment concerns. Courts are still grappling with whether long-term location tracking without suspicion is even constitutional. There's also misuse and error risks. Officers across the country have been disciplined for using surveillance databases for personal reasons. Just a few months ago, a police chief in Braselton, Georgia was arrested and charged after using flock cameras to stalk and harass multiple victims. In 2023, a Kansas police chief admitted to using flock cameras to stalk his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend. There are many more cases like these where these systems of mass surveillance are used not to catch criminals, but to aid them in their goals to intimidate and harass innocent civilians. ALPR systems are also known to produce false matches, which can lead to wrongful stops or dangerous encounters. Last year in Denver, a woman was falsely accused of theft, resulting in her having to provide her own dash cam footage to prove her innocence. In Espanola, New Mexico, a 17-year-old honor student was falsely arrested and her 12-year-old sister was put in handcuffs following flock cameras mistaking a 2 for a 7 on the 17-year-old's license plate. If the violation of the American people's civil liberties is not incentive enough to question the usage of ALPR cameras, then please consider the financial risks involved when these cameras make mistakes, which, according to a report published by IPPM Research, is as often as 10% of the time. In 2015, San Francisco City had to pay nearly $500,000 to Denise Green after she was wrongfully arrested and held at gunpoint after an ALPR camera mistook a 3 for a 7 on her license plate. In 2024, Aurora, Colorado had to pay out nearly $2 million after wrongfully holding a mother and her 6-year-old daughter at gunpoint, forcing the family to lie face down on hot pavement, when again, ALPR cameras mistook the license plate on the mother's car for that of a stolen motorcycle. While it is my belief that these cameras pose an inherent safety risk, even when there are safeguards in place, I recognize that it may not be feasible to deactivate these cameras as other cities, like Evanston, Illinois, Eugene, Oregon, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and many more have already started doing. If these cameras remain in use, I urge the council to adopt stronger policies to protect Delwood residents, including strict limits on who can access the data and for what purpose, short data retention periods, public transparency reports and independent audits, clear prohibitions on use for immigration enforcement or protected activities, and serious consideration of warrant requirements. In conclusion, public safety and privacy are not mutually exclusive, but unchecked surveillance erodes trust, invites misuse, and puts cities at legal and ethical risk. I'm asking the council to prioritize community trust, civil liberties, and transparency before expanding and continuing this program. Thank you for your time. I did give Mayor Jones some flyers
They have it.
a link to all the sources that we
Yeah.
talked about today.
Thank you. Thanks for your comment.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anybody else? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, to a second.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman
Melton.
Melton. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.